Make the ground shake.
Hey everybody, long time no see. Want to welcome you back to Critics Corner with your host Chuck Kiwacz, aka Chuck's Movie Minute. I want to start off this week with some of our best Oscar contenders. For those of you that didn't know, last year nailed my Oscar special, got 28 out of 30 right, only nailed 2 wrong. So you can take these picks to the bank. The Founder, for those of you who don't know, stars Michael Keaton and Nick Offerman. This is basically the story of Ray Kroc, the quote-unquote founder of McDonald's, and how McDonald's came to be. Kind of a frustrating movie to watch when it's like the Steve Jobs syndrome to me, of somebody that never really created anything but just stole it from other people. So it was frustrating to watch, but the movie itself, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It really, really lags at certain points. There's such false drama, it's almost soap opera-like overacting. That it really pulls you out of the movie at certain points. Nick Offerman, by far, is the shining star of the entire film for me. I loved his performance. I love what he puts into being one of the McDonald's brothers. The story itself is very interesting. That's where I kind of feel like the acting brought this movie down a lot. The story was great. It really, really sucks to see how Ray Kroc kind of stole the entire McDonald's empire from these two brothers. I mean, he even stole their name, which is ridiculous, but the more messed up part is that he didn't even have the idea to steal it. It was somebody else's idea. So it's a great movie if you just want to see that story and how it came to be. I'd Redbox this at best. It's not one of those movies that you're going to want to go run out there and pay to see. I don't think any of the Oscar hype is deserved by any means. It's a very, very boring movie, in my opinion. So for this week, definitely, with The Founder, we're going to say Redbox it. So definitely wait for that one to come out. You're not missing anything. Weak acting, very lagging at points that, I mean, there's multiple times where I was caught looking at my watch. Nothing is quite believable, and there's nothing in the story that you're going to walk out like, oh my god, that was revolutionary. At best, it's kind of like a History Channel special that they put out in theaters. So definitely wait for that one to come out. Hidden Figures, starring Taraji P. Henson, Jim Parsons, Kevin Costner. Basically, this is the story of a group of black women in the NASA computing program back in the early days of the space race, and their role in getting John Glenn to be the first man to orbit for the U.S. Great movie. The acting was absolutely incredible. Taraji P. Henson definitely deserves some Oscar hype. It's a great ensemble piece as well. So it's definitely a great watchable movie. Get out there with popcorn. A couple things I am going to ding it for, though. First of all, it's got that over-the-top, like, racist moment that they have in all those movies. Like, I'm not going to work with a black person. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we've seen it over and over again. If you're going to have that scene, find a way to not make it like the over-the-top, ridiculously racist moment. Kevin Costner shines great as, like, the typical white guy who's not going to let racism shine. People having to overcome the racism of the 50s and 60s and stuff like that. But what this movie does is it kind of puts those on the back burner, which I really like. It's more about the actual, how they contributed to getting them to space. Like, that's the whole point of this movie. It isn't like them trying to break in and get their job. It's them working with this team and this whole team trying to figure out how to get them to space. And it's got strong acting all around, great story. You're actually invested in it. You want to know what's going to happen. It's one of those few movies where you know the result, but you're still interested to see how they got there. So definitely Hidden Figures. Get out there, see it in theaters, give it the box office hype that it deserves. So we will be back all this week with different picks from the Oscar categories, and then we will have my full Oscar special later in the week where I will go over all the categories, give you my picks. Just lastly, before we wrap up here, I want to go to my What You Should Be Watching segment. So for this week's What to Watch, it is definitely the show This Is Us. It's airing weekly now. If you haven't caught it yet, we're about 12 episodes in. Absolutely incredible. I mean, the reviews for this show have been rave all around, but it's very unique in the way that it takes place over multiple time periods, flash forwards, flashbacks, all around great cast acting, follows the 3 siblings trying to grow up in the modern day world, and then their parents trying to deal with being parents in the early 70s and 80s. So it's absolutely incredible writing, though. I've never seen cast performances that deliver on every level. Every episode's got a little bit of an emotional gut punch and a twist that it's just some of the best writing I've seen on TV other than Game of Thrones. So if you're not watching This Is Us now, I mean, Milo Ventimiglia from Heroes fame, Mandy Moore, who I never thought that I would be a fan of, but I'm actually saying, yeah, Mandy Moore delivers. And then Sterling K. Brown, who is my choice for #Green Lantern is killing it on this show. And then we also have Justin Hartley, for those of you that love him as Green Arrow on Smallville. He's totally bringing it in this show as well. So make sure you catch On Demand, Hulu, wherever you need to watch it. This Is Us is this week's What to Watch. Remember, check us out on the Nerd Herder Network, Facebook, Nerd Herder, YouTube, Chuck's Movie Minute, and we will see you next week.